Caramel apples are a fun fall dessert, but a lot of the recipes out there use not so great ingredients like corn syrup. So today I'm going to show you how you can make caramel apples at home with real food ingredients. To make your caramel apples, the ingredients you will need are 1 cup of heavy cream, 1 cup of sucanat or other unrefined cane sugar, a half a cup of honey, 4 tablespoons of butter, and a teaspoon of vanilla. And then of course you need some apples, and you can do all one type or a mix of different kinds. It doesn't really matter. You can do sweet ones, you can do tart ones. It's just whatever your preference is. Now you're probably familiar with all of the ingredients I listed except maybe the sucanat. So real quick, sucanat is just an unrefined cane sugar, which means that it's still sugar, but it's a little bit of a better option because it's still gonna have some of those trace minerals and things in there. And it's also gonna have more of a molassesy flavor because things haven't been separated out. Now, if you can't find the sucanat or you don't have it, you should be able to use regular sugar or even brown sugar if you like. I haven't tested those myself, but there are plenty of caramel apple recipes that use those, so it should work out okay. I just prefer the sucanat for the reasons I mentioned earlier. As far as special equipment for this recipe, you will need a food thermometer or candy thermometer of some sort so that you can track the temperature of your caramel, and then you'll also need some popsicle sticks or something to stick into the apples for your handle. Once you've got all of your ingredients ready and your equipment, and then we can start making the caramel. So in a medium-sized saucepan, you want to put in your heavy cream, the sucanat, the honey, and the butter, and then you're also going to put your thermometer in there so you can track the temperature of this mixture as it cooks. Now you want to make sure that you're not using too small of a saucepan here because all of these ingredients will fit into a 1-quart saucepan, but as it starts to cook and bubble up, it can boil over the sides, and we don't want that to happen. And I tell you this because it happened to me, okay? So I don't want it to happen to you. So make sure you go up to maybe that neck size, and then you won't have to worry about stuff bubbling over, and it'll be a lot less stressful situation for you. Once you've got all your ingredients in there and you got the thermometer, then you can go ahead and heat it over medium heat. And now it's basically just a waiting game. You want all of those ingredients to dissolve, and you want to be stirring it frequently. And then once things do start to dissolve and get incorporated, then you need to be stirring this thing constantly because we don't want any of the caramel or anything to burn on the bottom of the pan. So use a wooden spoon and just make nice figure-8 patterns through the caramel as it heats, and it'll bubble, and you'll get to see the mixture start to come together and resemble caramel, and that is really fun. Now we want our caramel to get up to 245 degrees Fahrenheit. If you're using a candy thermometer, then it might have a little mark on there that says firm ball. So that's what we're going for. And this is just the right temperature so that the caramel has the consistency that we are looking for. Once your caramel has reached the 245-degree mark or that firm ball stage, then you want to take it off the heat. And you can keep stirring it a little bit just to keep things moving around. And this is the time to get your apples prepped. So we're going to let the caramel cool a little bit so we can work with it, but you don't want it to cool too much because then it can firm up a lot and then it can be hard to coat your apples. So you want to have your apples ready at this point on a baking tray with something to line it. So either like a Silpat or a piece of parchment paper or aluminum foil or something like that, just so that the apples don't stick when you start coating them. So while the caramel is cooling, you get your little setup ready with your apples, and also get your popsicle sticks, and you want to put those in the stem end of your apple so you have a nice little handle. You're gonna need about 6 apples for this, at least that's what I ended up with. Now obviously it depends on the size of your apples, how many you're able to coat with the caramel mixture. Mine were kind of medium to small sized apples, so just keep that in mind if you're trying to make a certain amount or you're trying to figure out how many apples you're going to be able to coat with the caramel mixture. And after we take our caramel off the heat, this is also where we want to add in our vanilla extract. So it's a teaspoon of vanilla extract into the caramel, just pour it in and then stir it in with your wooden spoon. And this is probably going to bubble a little bit just because the caramel is still hot. Once your apples have their handles in them, then you can start coating them. So you want to take the apple, hold it by the handle, and then just start dipping and rolling it in the caramel. Now, if you find that your caramel isn't quite deep enough to get all the way to the top of the apple, then you can always use your spoon to kind of spoon it over the top and get that nice even coating all over the apple. And once you're satisfied with the amount of caramel you have on your apple, you can pull it up out of the caramel, let any extra drip off, and you can always use your spoon to kind of help that happen. And then you want to take and move it and set it on its little butt on your lined baking tray to cool. Once all of your apples are coated, this is the time to roll them in any extra toppings. So you can do crushed peanuts or flaked coconut or anything else that you want to try, really. Now, I prefer the classic version, so I did not do that, but if you want to add toppings, then you totally can. And then at this point, you want to transfer your tray of apples into the fridge just so that caramel can finish cooling completely and set up. And that's it. So now you have your own homemade caramel apples without any weird junky ingredients, and you can make them with friends, you can make them with your kids. They're a super fun fall activity and they taste delicious. So that's how you make caramel apples. I hope you like this recipe, and let me know if you make these. I would love to see your pictures. Tag me on Instagram and I can come like your pics and comment on them and all that fun stuff. And if you are new to my channel and you want more healthy eating tips and nutrition info and healthy recipes, then make sure that you subscribe, because eating healthy and living a healthy lifestyle really doesn't have to be complicated, and I want to show you how to do it. And if you're loving the free information here on my channel, but you still feel like you need something a little more personalized to you, then don't forget that I do offer one-on-one sessions where you can work with me individually. So if you're interested in that, just let me know and we can get that set up for you. Thanks for watching. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll talk to you next time.